Good morning, fish keepers. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. It happens sometimes. It is what it is. Yeah. Rightio, let's crack on. It's Friday. We've done it. Let's do coffee. That is foul. Honestly, I bought a bag of coffee from the supermarket on Tuesday, I think it was, and I have been fighting through it the entire week, and it is disgusting. And I'm glad I might only have 2 or 3 coffees worth out of it because it is just absolutely foul. Right, so today there is no John. He's not with us. He's off with some family stuff going on, so it's just me. I am sorry. G'day, Brian. How you doing, buddy? Because of which I also don't have a heck of a lot to talk about, but we will see how we go. So first and foremost, obviously our shop is open from 11 until 4:30 today and 10 till 3 tomorrow. It's pretty average weather, but it is nice and dry inside other than obviously all the aquariums. So come have a visit over the weekend and pick up some fishy goodness. We have been running our tests through the... If I broke any more test tubes. No, I have not broken any more test tubes. We've been running our tests via the seeing what cycling methods are running. So I was trying to commit myself to doing a test every second day, but I've got even that I'm testing every day at the moment. What has become apparent to me is that I'm very quickly going to run out of test solutions. So I'm going to have to buy another master test kit tomorrow. This week coming up. G'day, Zen. How you doing? Because we're flying through it. So funnily enough, 10 tests a day doesn't take very long to blast through a full test kit. And you're welcome for the Agapo Explorer show. So we're getting a new test kit. Everything so far has been doing about as I expected, I think. The ammonia skyrocketed a little bit earlier than I thought it would with the prawn, but that's about the only outlay. The stability hasn't really shown any unusual signs. The cycled media and the filter gunk haven't really shown any unusual signs. Everything's tracking the way they should be. And the using the pure ammonia is doing the same thing as well. So I expected pre-cycled, and filtered muck to run the fastest, and theoretically all 3 of them are now cycled. All 3 of them have had fish in there from basically day 1, according to the bottle of the stability. It was put on I put fish in on day 3 because that's the general way that people put fish in after using that product, and the consensus is with the cycled media and the filter muck, you can put fish in straight away. So I put fish in that today as well. So we've been running through that for over a week now, and so far that's kind of the results. I have been sitting with what are we actually testing this for a little bit, and what exactly are we looking for in the parameters, what is indicating what works and what doesn't work. So like both stability, cycled media and the filter gunk, none of them have shown any major signs of ammonia. There's been a little spike here or there. None of them have shown any signs of nitrite at all, and they've all shown a little bit of nitrate, but there is nitrates in my water. So like theoretically, they're not going to go... I wouldn't have thought they're not going to go through a cycle. So how are we testing the bacteria and the microorganisms, that kind of stuff? Because we can't test that from the test kits. So like, it depends on which way you were wanting to look at this to how what's being claimed as cycled or not cycled. So like everyone says that bottled bacteria doesn't do anything, but what is it that we're actually checking for it not to be doing anything? Because the cycled media and the filter muck's not doing anything when it comes to the test anyway. So like, which one's working here, if that makes sense? So far, all I can go on is the fish health. Every tank is 5 or 6 guppies. I can't remember how much they are into them, and they've all seemed to be of full health. There's been no issues with them whatsoever. So on that theory, they're all doing what they need to do. So just a little bit personally up in the water on what exactly it is that we are testing for exactly, and how that kind of works. But yeah, we'll see how we go. That's just a bit of the update from where we're at with that. We've had some rainbow fry hatch as well, which I'm pretty excited about. So last week, I think I spoke about the Bosmani, the Lacustris, and the dwarf neon rainbows all spawning. So we removed all of the spawning mops and put them in their own tank. And yesterday I saw a couple of fry. Today I saw a lot of fry. So we've got a lot of fry going on there, which I'm really excited about. I haven't spawned these before. They're very, very small. So they're growing up currently. Well, they're going to be growing up for the next little while on green water and infusoria, and a mix of cold water Apache. I'll probably mix the cold water Apache into the infusoria water or the green water as well, just to hit them all at the same time. I've also had some Barons and Albino Corridors hatch. Not a lot, but there's definitely a little bit of wiggling going on in there, so I'm happy enough with that. There's 100% more moldy eggs than what there was actual fry that's turned up, which is a shame, but I've got something out of that, so that's a start. I will have a wee fiddle around and just change some slight methods. I think I might try and separate more eggs to see if that helps anything. I think having more flow running around the breeder box, so I used this breeder box this time. I think having more flow running around them worked a lot better than not having the flow, which I had previously had. So we'll have a wee fiddle around with that and go from there. Also, we've had, well, I haven't had, but the dwarf cichlids that we separated, the Bolivian rams, the T-bars, and the golden nanocaras. I did a water change in all of them earlier in the week. If you're following us on TikTok, you would have seen that. So I did a water change of that with RODI water, trying to bring the TDS and the pH down just a smidgen on them. Yesterday I saw both males and females in both of those tanks, which I was cool with when I was feeding them. And this morning I've only seen the males in all three of those tanks. Probably coincidental, but I'm hoping that maybe the females are tucked up into a cave sitting on eggs. Probably be a bit too much to ask for that all three of them were spawned overnight or in this morning or last night or what have you. But we'll see how we go. Definitely only seen the males this morning, so I'll put some Cyclops in there once I get off this, and we'll see if we can see the females at all. So we might be having females sitting on eggs. I'm hoping we've got females sitting on eggs when it comes to those three. We'll see how we go very soon. So promising signs there. If this is, I'm sorry, most of this is going to be all about spawning because that's what I have been up to for the last little while, other than moving everything around. So I'm sorry if we're just on one sort of topic, but we'll see how we go. Infusoria is just tiny little microorganisms that are in the water. You can get it by using like the stalk of a broccoli, putting it in a bit of tank water, putting in some sun, it'll sort of break down a little bit, and all the little, I don't know, I say insects, bugs, little weird things turn up in the water. Really, really small, great for feeding fry. And you can also squeeze out a sponge filter, put it in some water and just sort of leave it there, and that'll as well do the same thing. So it's just tiny little beginner fry food. Most aquariums have little bits of infusoria hanging. Most all aquariums will have bits of infusoria and stuff like that hanging around in them. Your fish will just pick them off during the day. It's just part and parcel of having an aquarium. It's all natural, but it's really good for growing out fry. So it's a good starter, especially for small fry. So that's what we're using at the moment. And have begun prepping up the black neons and the red phantom tetras. So they will be set to go on Monday. Again, today I've just done a few pH and TDS readings on their tanks. pH is sitting a little bit higher than what I wanted, but the TDS is sitting about where I want to be. So this afternoon I will do another water change on them using some RODI water to try and bring the TDS just a little bit lower and bring the pH a bit lower as well. And I'll be putting in the spawning material in with the females as well, so they get used to it over the weekend. And hopefully on No, hopefully I'll turn up on Sunday morning and I'll put the males in with the females. So hopefully we can get a spawn on Monday morning. That is the plan when it comes to those fish. The females are getting nice and plump. The males are looking pretty keen. So a couple more days of prep work and we'll see how we go with them. So I'm looking forward to that. I've been quite enthusiastic since the glow light spawned and to do some more tetras. So I'm quite looking forward to playing around with the black neons because I think they're a very, very cool little fish. And red phantoms are also quite cool as well. Oh, man, that is disgusting coffee. Oh, that is terrible. So, yeah, that's where that's at with them. Once we get through them, if I can get them to have a wee spawn, lemon tetras are definitely on the equation, and I wouldn't mind playing around with a few danios. I quite like the pearl danios, so they might be another one to play around with. And equally, I wouldn't mind finding some leopard danios to have a play with. I haven't seen them for a little while, so that's where we're going at the moment. If you are following us on TikTok, you would have seen that we've done a wee move around of a few bits and pieces over the last few days. Actually, you might have seen it on Facebook as well. So we've just pushed a few shelves around, basically gave myself another full rack to put aquariums on, or 2 full racks to put aquariums on, which I'm looking forward to. So that'll be pretty good. Just got to work out exactly what things we're going to use to hold water. In my mind, it's like I don't really necessarily need a 15-litre aquarium. I could find like a 10-litre plastic jug, cut some edges off them, as long as it holds water and it's good enough for the males and the females for spawning. And I think that could be a viable option. The other part of me goes just buy all the exact same aquariums, keep it looking nice and tidy, and go from there. So we'll see how we go with that. What brand is the coffee that I'm drinking? I believe it is Flight, and I think from memory I got it from Pack and Save. It is not very pleasant. I will give you that one. It's not very pleasant at all. I haven't liked it from day one. It's quite bitter. I've had to put 2 teaspoons of baked sugar into it just to try and make it palatable, and it's not even that flash. So I'm very much looking forward to going back to my normal coffee, which I get from a coffee house literally just down the road. I just happened to be in the supermarket at the time and knew I was running low, so I grabbed it, and I regret that decision. So yeah, avoid that one if you're into your coffee. Anyway, that is all that I have on my list. Like I said, most of my time has been currently working on moving everything around and getting some spawns going on. So I don't have too much to talk about other than that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I agree, Brian. Life is way too short for bad coffee or tea or even beer. The funny thing is obviously really subjectual because, like, you might try this and you might absolutely love it, but for me, it's just feral. So, yeah, it's just not a coffee that I'm enjoying. We'll put it that way, but we'll get through it. Only a couple to go. Good morning. How are you doing? For those that are watching on YouTube and Facebook, I'm also streaming live on TikTok and vice versa. So my phone is just over there. So my eyes are probably darting from one to another. I don't normally do the TikTok live thing, but I thought, why not? Because John's not here, so I might as well look at my face twice instead of once. Yeah, I am very well, other than my very hideous coffee that I'm drinking at the moment, which I'm not enjoying very much. At 400-litre tip out in a fish room, how did that happen? Did the seams split on it? If so, that is absolutely not ideal. Yeah, I'd like a little bit more information on how your 400-litre tipped out, please, Thomas. Cool. So, what's next on the agenda? Yeah, why the bag coffee? Because I bought the wrong bag of coffee. I thought I'd give this one a go, and you don't know if you don't try stuff. This is not the best coffee. We'll put it that way. Well, Steve, how are you doing? How's the Jag? Wara is doing really well. He's found himself a nice little cave in my aquarium at home. It's just a dual 220, 240 or something like that, so it's not ginormous, but he's doing pretty well. He is in there with Mario, who is our red tiger Oscar, who is doing really well. They get on well enough. They don't try and rip each other's faces off, which is a bonus. But they are a little bit... they don't swim side by side, we'll put it that way. Wa's got his own little cave, and Mario just likes to swim around and antagonize him a little bit. That's what I call the big one, Bitey, in there. He was very aggressive, which was the Bircher, so I've had to move him into the shop. And since I've taken him out, everyone's been a little bit better. Jed's Extreme, best coffee out there. I am a fan of Jed's. I quite like Jed's instant coffee. I haven't been a big fan of Jed's bean coffee. That's not quite floated my boat so far, but I definitely like the Jed's instant. I think that is quite nice. Hello, Barista Betty. You have come to the right stream because it seems like we're talking all things coffee today and no things aquariums anymore. But we'll see how we go. You might be able to explain to me then how come the coffee that I have has got a very disgusting, awful, bitter taste to it. Is it just the bean, how it's been roasted, or is it something that I'm doing? And Rochelle likes the Countdown granulated cheap coffee. If I was rich, it'd be Jed. I used to absolutely love the Smooth International Roast instant coffee. That was my absolute favorite. I thought it was phenomenal. And then I worked somewhere and they gave us, what was it? Moccona was the instant coffee that they gave us for the staff room, and from that point onwards, I just couldn't drink the instant roast, and I had to up my game a little bit, unfortunately. But yeah, I used to love the instant roast smooth stuff. It was beautiful. We got some context here. My automatic water change system, a 400 litre go in every 3 days overnight, and my overflow garden hose from the sump has a stopper valve on it. I didn't know. Oh, damn, that's not so ideal. Frontosa is good. He's going to be going into my main colony probably this weekend. I'm pretty happy with that. So, yep, he'll be moving into the main colony one night. Probably onto it on maybe tonight before I leave. Put it on, turn the lights off, leave him in there, and see how he goes for the morning. Fingers crossed. But yeah, overall he's been good. He's eating, looks healthy, looks content. So, yeah, he'll go quite nicely. He's definitely going to be the smallest Frontosa in that colony. So hopefully he doesn't get picked on. And fingers crossed it's a female, and he doesn't get picked on by the big boys, and can just cruise through and become part of that colony with no issues whatsoever. Weather here has been a little bit hit and miss. During the week, there's been some absolutely scorching hot days, and then this morning it's raining. I missed a bit of a trick. If I realized it was going to rain overnight, I would have done a couple of water changes on some of the cories to see if I could induce a spawn or two, but totally didn't know it was going to rain because I didn't pay any attention. And to be fair, I don't have any tanks ready for cory eggs anyway at the moment. Coffee and aquarium related. I use my RO in my coffee filter. I think it helps. Your RO as in the waste RO water or the good RO water? Can't believe I can believe it. Man, RO water wastes so much water. It's not funny. It's just insane how much it just pours out, and it just seems like such a waste to mine just go straight down the drain because I don't really have any other use that I could think of using hundreds and hundreds of liters of water for. But it just seems like such an absolute waste to be pouring that water straight down the sink. If anyone does know any options that you can use for RO water for the wastewater, let me know. I'd rather not be pouring it down the sink, even if we can somehow recycle it somewhere along the lines. That'd be good. Use the wastewater on my garden. I would probably use the wastewater on my garden if I had a garden here. I don't. But behind me is a concrete playground, and on the other side of me is a concrete playground as well. So, yeah, chuck it straight out the back. So we'll see how we go. I would like to think if I set it up properly, I could use it in like some sort of a plant growing hydroponic type use. Maybe circulating some water through the bottom of them or something along those lines. But even then, it wouldn't take very long to fill it up like that. Yeah. Don't use the wastewater in your coffee. It makes it taste better. Do you know that from personal experience, Brian? Use it for water changes. Could be. So from my understanding, the way that I understand how RO works, the wastewater is all the junk and the munk. I haven't tested it, but it'll be higher in nitrates. My water source has nitrates in it, so it'll have nitrates coming through it already. All the phosphates and all that kind of gross stuff. So I'm not sure if I want to be using it for water changes. It's potentially the opposite of what you're trying to achieve using it. But it does seem like such an absolute waste of it. The recommendation I read was wastewater should be diluted with tap water before putting on plants. That would make sense because it'd be a concentrate of phosphates, nitrates, and other muck and bits and pieces, if I understand how RO water works. So it would make sense to do that, to dilute it through a little bit. Maybe that might... Let me get my handy-dandy notebook and write myself some notes, work out what to do with RODI water. Work out water / plants. Cool. I wonder how I'm going to fill my coffee pot with Red Bull. I'm not sure if warm Red Bull will taste any good. Yeah, plants absolutely love anything aquarium related water, like water change, water going to the lawn. You've got a patch of just flourishing green grass. How's my Christmas song list going? Fantastic. And no, I don't have my Christmas tree up yet. I love Christmas. I absolutely love Christmas, but I'm a Christmas decorations from the 1st of December to the 1st of January. Trees, decorations, a whole lot. Christmas music can be all year round. There's no issues with having Christmas music playing all year round, particularly like Mariah. How good is Mariah? But decorations need to be only from December through to January. That's a little bit too much. Having Christmas trees up now, that's far too much for me. But I definitely think Christmas music, Christmas songs can be played all year round, particularly the ones that aren't your standard traditional Christmas carols, more your rock type ones, or your Mariahs, or your Whams. You can play them all year round. They're good to go. Michael Bublé can only come out in December, however. He's an exclusive December limited edition treat, but all the rest of them can be played year round. And 100% I start ramping it up in November. So love my Christmas music. If you come to the shop, do not be surprised if you're hearing Christmas songs from now until probably February. Yeah, you probably could do it with a coffee-flavored Monsters. Some of them aren't too bad. I would be a little concerned that it would remove the water element too much, and then concentrate too much of the other muck and give you weird little jitters because you've had too much of it. I hate to say it, but with it being fireworks at the moment, at least we don't need to worry about the fishes getting scared. Yep, and I can never understand why let off fireworks during the day. Yeah, letting off fireworks during the day doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense because, well, obviously you can't see them. So that makes no sense to me either. But yeah. And you're right, we don't need to worry about the fish. I'm always a little worried about my children, especially when they're just getting to bed, and it's just on that cusp of they're asleep, and it's just a little bit dark, but not super dark sort of thing. And yeah, just sort of frightening them a little bit, but that is what it is. And Helen is, as a horse owner, I wish they would be banned for private use. I think there's a lot of people that are in that boat, and I wouldn't be surprised if private use is gone within 5-10 years. I am a little bit on the opposite side. Up the wires. Just setting up the wires, and it's kind of like, I don't know, you can't not give up the wires anymore. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do that in the next 5 or 10 years. I don't totally support that idea. I just wish that more people would be cool. Here is the time that I can use fireworks between this 10-day or whatever period, and then people not be dicks and use them out of those 10-day periods. But can't control humans. If we know anything, that's a pretty true statement, and people will do what they want to do, unfortunately. So, and I think that is probably the reason why they will eventually be banned. Personally, I don't like fireworks. I have always thought they're a ginormous waste of money. I never thought that the money that I pay, I got my money back out of it, and it seems ridiculous to spend $100 on a box of things I'm going to light on fire. But that's just me. But I do have no issues with people using them, doing them, and enjoying them. I just will be far better if it was just sort of within that period of time. So yeah. Fireworks have been known to shock small pets to death, guinea pigs, rabbits. I didn't know that, but I didn't know that, but now you've said that, that doesn't surprise me. They can also land in outdoor closures here. Yeah, again, I wasn't aware of that, but I'm not surprised now you've said that they have the ability to shoot guinea pigs and rabbits to death and whatnot. So, which is very unfortunate. Am I looking at betting on the Melbourne Cup? I am not. I don't gamble in any which way and form, other than gambling with my love for the Warriors. I've got no real interest in doing any gambling of any descriptions. The only time I ever really gamble is if I'm like going to a friend's house and we'll play a game of cards, and that might happen every 2 years or something like that. Or I've always sort of said, not only to gamble on myself, so if I can kind of control it sort of scenario, control my output, and if I can make something work as opposed to gamble on somebody else's things. See, I'm not a gambler of any description. I won't be watching Melbourne Cup. I don't even know when it is. Yeah. We had a comment on TikTok. The fireworks display in Whakatane were fun to watch as a kid. Yeah, I think that's the thing with fireworks is like, as an adult, I sort of spend $100 and I feel like I'm lighting my money on fire, literally. But like, kids don't see that. Kids don't care. They go, "Wow, look at that colours, look at that noise, look at that excitement going on." So like, yeah, for me, that's a massive positive of it. So, and I remember plenty of times as a kid enjoying fireworks as well for that reason. So, depends on which way you look at it, and depends on how you go. Yeah, and I agree. Public displays are pretty awesome. The I was going to say the go-kart track, the stock car track down here do their annual fireworks thing, and we quite often go for a wee drive and just get close to it and watch it, because you can pretty much see all of it in the sky, and the cars themselves aren't of an interest to me, but watching them explode and the kids enjoying that is a pretty massive thing. So that's cool as well. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of the same. They're okay, but as long as my children are enjoying it, that's kind of the main thing, or what have you. So yeah. Well, hasn't this live been a bit of a journey? We've gone from fish breeding to coffee to fireworks. What else are we going to talk about? Random stuff today. Might be a random Finatics Friday coffee date, number 166. If you're not following us on TikTok, you should get amongst it. Today we posted vlog number 93. So that's 93 days in a row, excluding the weekends that we have posted. I'm thinking about doing some sort of a giveaway on TikTok for vlog number 100, just for fun, but I'm not sure. If we were to do that, what do you think we should do? 100 seems to be like quite a momentous number, so why not get amongst that as well? That's not ideal. My neighbors had fireworks and they kept tipping over and shooting the house and their kids. Yeah, that's far from ideal. That's probably one of the significant downsides of fireworks. And Thomas thinks just get African cichlids. They pretty much like fireworks. Yeah, well, and there is some called firecrackers. So, yeah. Speaking of African cichlids, just reminded me that the Three Idiots Talk Aquariums podcast was recorded this morning. We're a couple of days late, but that'll be released on Sunday. Funnily enough, there was a conversation about African cichlids and Tropheus yet again. It was quite a cool episode. There was more than just African talk, which was nice. We spoke about slow developing fish. The general premise of the conversation was sort of ones that are in a shop are a little bit bland, a little bit boring, and then after 6 months or so, they begin to get some phenomenal colors on them, or shape, sizes, patterns, all that kind of stuff. So it was quite a fun conversation. We definitely spoke about a couple of fish that we haven't really spoken about before, which was nice as well. Believe it or not, Ryan spoke about African cichlids. Who would have thought that would happen? So that'll be on Sunday. It was a bit of a good time, so get amongst that. If you haven't yet, subscribe to us on both YouTube and Spotify. Good morning, Silver Creek. I hope you're doing well. Yeah. I feel like without my sidekick, doing a little bit of rambling. So if I am rambling, please stop me. Fishy related from Helen. I picked up 4 teeny festivums yesterday. So once they've been quarantined, Festa will have a family. I love that you call them Festa. That's cool. Festivums are really cool fish. I quite like them. They don't really fit into the wheelhouse of what I want to stock and sell and that kind of stuff. But I think festivums are a very nice fish. So it's kind of cool. You got a wee group of them going on. And to be honest, I don't know much about African cichlids, but I see people have a lot of them in the same tank. But the common theme is they are fiery tempered. Yeah, so African cichlids, as a general rule, are quite fiery. And as a way of minimizing that sort of fiery, dominant temperament, you have a whole bunch of them in the tank together. So the theory being is, this is my tank boss, I'm the aggressive one. I've got 2 other fish. I'm just going to go from 1 to 2 and just keep smacking them all day. These 2 get all stressed out, get stressed out and die. I'm the boss, ha ha ha. We've got 1 boss here, and we've got 5 other fish. I can pick on you, then I can pick on you, I can pick on you. And this one's recovering, while this one down here is being picked on. And so it just eliminates the amount of individualized aggression towards 1 fish. So that's why people keep them in. That's why people keep them in more stocked out aquariums. That's how that they work a lot better. Doesn't necessarily work with all African cichlids, but mostly like your Mbunas works really well that way. So that's why people keep them in more stocked out tanks for that reason alone. Yeah, I hope that helps. Again, African cichlids are quite nice fish. You definitely get a lot of vibrant colors from them. But I think what you get from vibrant colors, you lack for the ability of, generally speaking, having plants. You normally need slightly bigger aquariums. So you need to stock them up a little bit more. So, there's a catch-22 on them. Again, they're the sort of fish that not really in my wheelhouse of wanting to stock in the shop. but there are some very nice African cichlids about. So, yeah. There are quite a few nice African cichlids, just not common ones. The focus has been so much on Lake Malawi and even only a few, yeah. I totally agree. Lake Tanganyika ones, they for me, they're the money cichlids. Give or take a couple of Malawi species. For me, the Tanganyikan ones, they are the ones that I like. I like the Malawis because they look like what you'd consider a traditional fish. They look like a fish, whereas a lot of the Tanganyikans have got really unique shapes and a lot of unique behaviours behind them compared to the Malawis. I think you get the colour from Malawis, and you get the shape and the intricate behaviours more from the Tanganyikans. My soapbox. Rift Lake cichlids are often different to other Africans here. My African butterflies are the most chilled cichlids I've ever had, yeah. And generally speaking, when people refer to African cichlids, we're talking about Rift Lakes, we're talking about Malawi, Tanganyikan cichlids, as opposed to like butterflies and buffalo heads and all that sort of stuff. There's slightly different ones that run in the riverways and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah. Do you get all 7 colours of the rainbows? You're going to have to run me through the colours of the rainbow because I can't quite remember. Purple is definitely something that I can't think of. You get red, yellow, orange, blue. Green is another tough one. Venustus are a little bit green, so you could probably go there. What other colours are there in the rainbow that I've missed? I think I've got 5 or 6 then. Yeah, I'm also a fan of the lulupai. I think they're a really nice looking fish. Really cool, intricate behaviours and really cool shape and a really lovely coloration on them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Yeah, South America is pigeonholed into one sort of areas for sure. I think with African cichlids, particularly Rift Lake, it's way more pigeonholed, but you can see how that happens as well. Yeah, you can get purple OBs. Arguably, OBs aren't a natural fish. Well, they aren't a natural fish, but you can add them to a Malawi tank very easily and get some purple color there. So, yeah, I'd say that means you probably can get most of the colors of the rainbow, if not all of the colors of the rainbow, on with your African cichlids. So, you definitely don't lose color or activity when it comes to African cichlids. Like they're full of color and activity. There's no question in that whatsoever. Gonna need some inspiration, people. Gonna need some topics and things to talk about. So I'm all out of ideas. That or we can disappear and I can go back to doing some more spawning, setting up some more bits and pieces. Actually, we can talk about snails. How much show my age with that removing colors? So I set up a few snail tanks the other day. I do blue mysteries, golden apple snails, brown mysteries, and ramshorn snails. They're the ones that we currently stock. My question is, do I look at also doing Malaysian trumpet snails and like pond bladder snails as well? I'm not sure if I want to. I don't even know if I want to do the brown mystery snails. I'm thinking maybe just blue mysteries and red ramshorns. Statistically, from what we sell, it's almost pointless for me to be producing golden apple snails and brown mystery snails. So, like, sold 2 or 3 of each of them over the last 3 months. So it's almost not even worth me doing them. But I thought that I would just because. But yeah, I always question why people buy the red ramshorns. Other than they look pretty cool, but like, always question why people do. So I would think there is much point in doing the Malaysian trumpets and the bladders. Yeah, I'm still Malaysian trumpet snail free in this building, and so I'm a little bit dubious of bringing some in because I'm doing pretty well to not have any at the moment. I definitely have duckweed, So part of me is like, don't risk it for the biscuit and don't bring in Malaysian trumpet snails. The other part of me goes, there's going to be people that want Malaysian trumpet snails, and there'll be people that want them for whatever various reasons. So I'm just kind of on the fence if I do or if I don't. I think if I do, then they're going to be everywhere. So yeah, I'm just not sure about that one. So I just wouldn't mind a little bit of input on that one, possible. And it's an absolute shame we don't get all the selection, the colour of the other mysteries that people get. I also wouldn't mind assassin snails. I think they're quite cool. Got a cool shell on them, but also the fact that they'll eliminate snails if you don't want them as well. So that's probably one snail I wish we had, was the assassin snail. Unfortunately, we don't. But yeah, I think some of those purple mystery snails are pretty cool as well. So, but unfortunately, they're not here. They can have mine. If I do go to need some Malaysian trumpets, I will be in contact, Helen. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of them about. I think I'm doing pretty well so far not to have any, but we'll see. Oh, yeah, Neurites do look pretty cool too. So there's definitely some cool snails around. Just a bit of a shame that we don't have all of the cool varieties. Yeah, I saw the Black Knight Rams popping up as well. Fun fact: personally, I'm not a huge fan of the Black Knights. That's just my own thoughts. I thought they looked a little bit disappointing, in all honesty. I saw someone said they were about. I was hoping that the full body would be black, not about a third or half of it. I'm hoping that because they're still quite young fish, as they develop, that rest of that color might sort of turn up, and they might get a bit darker all the way through. Otherwise, it sort of just seems like a half job that's been done, if that makes sense. They haven't been, if they do stay that sort of half and half, they haven't been bred completely the way they're meant to be. In saying that, if I could work out, if I knew where they were coming from, what supplier had bought them in, I would have bought some, and we would have them sitting in the quarantine ready for a couple of weeks' time for people as well, because I know there's plenty of people that want them. But yeah, for me, it's just not a fish that I'm overly interested in. I just don't like them all that much personally. But I can totally understand why people do. And yeah, I was just a little bit disappointed seeing the half of it being so dark color. But again, that could just be because they're young fish, and as they grow and as they develop, they might get their full color on them, which would be cool if they do. So yeah, did you buy any, Michelle? By any chance? How many eel species do we have? 3 that I can think of. Zigzag, tire track, fire eel off the top of my head. I don't want to say that's all. I think we might have another one, but they're the 3 that I can definitely think of off the top of my head. I've never personally kept any eel species. I've always been really worried that they would get out of tanks and that kind of stuff. So yeah. Any chance an importer could be persuaded to bring in some? I would guess very unlikely. Yeah, my guess would be very unlikely that would happen. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but I would just say very unlikely. I think if you're going to get that sort of thing happening, your best bet would be to talk to one of the smaller private importers that are hanging around. There's been a couple of them open up in the last 6 months to a year. I think your best bet would be to go through one of them if they're willing to bring an import for a customer. I'm not entirely sure, but they'd be your best bet over one of the bigger wholesaling importers. I don't have any contacts, and I'm sorry. I think if you look for New Zealand Aqua Kingdom, look at me talking with my eyes closed. If you look up New Zealand Aqua Kingdom on Facebook, I think you might be able to get direct there. I don't know if they do direct to consumer or not, or if they are just wholesale to retailers. But that might be an option. I can't think of any other ones. I think there was one opening up in Auckland, but I don't have any contacts with them. The guy in Christchurch, I don't believe, is importing, but he might be. Fish in a Box, I think is their name. Maybe try and find a contact number for him. They might be your best couple of bets, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm sorry. Curious, is Brooklands one of the places that import fish? And yes, Brooklands are an importer. The three main ones, Brooklands, Highway Fisheries, and Aquarius are the main three commercial importers. And then there is Aquascope that just breed their own fish and grow their own plants, and they do wholesale as well. They're the main suppliers for most of the shops in New Zealand. There'll be a few others dotted around, but yeah. Brooklands is up for sale. Is it just? Where did you see that? I didn't know that. I thought it had just recently changed hands. That's interesting. I was told that the owner of Hell's Pizza bought Brooklands. I don't know how much of that is true, but that's just what I was told. I wasn't aware that it was up for sale. That is very interesting. Do you have a source or a link for that by any chance? And if you say it's for sale on Trade Me, I'll be really disappointed in myself for not knowing that already. I thought it had not long, like sometime this year, changed hands. I wasn't aware that it was up for sale again. That might be what we're talking about the same thing, but yeah, my understanding was up for sale earlier in the year, or had been sold earlier in the year, or was about to be sold sometime this year. Yeah. Can give us no, I can't, because I've got no idea what's happening for Christmas yet. No, I've got no idea. I'm sorry. What is going on for Christmas? Do you mean for in regards of specials or promotions, or in regards to what we're going to be running for fun times leading into Christmas? Yeah, because at the moment we haven't really established what's going on, so I can't really give you an answer on any of them, but give me a wee bit of guidance. I might be able to pretend that I know. I might act like I'm a professional business, but the reality is I don't really know what's going on most of the time. And unless it's something big like Fish Wars, which we plan a couple of weeks in advance, we just have dates of things that we're looking at doing, and then it just happens as it happens. So, yeah, the business structure and whatnot is very much on a, oh, we should do this, or hey, that looks cool, we'll give that a go sort of scenario. Fish Wars is definitely one. Did I just say that? Fish Wars, yeah. Fish Wars is one that we do pre-plan a little bit more. Fun time specials. I'd love it if you got Cam from Auckland for a special fish date. We have had Cam on for a special fish date before. Must have been about 18 months ago or so. I think the problem, I'll ask him today, but I think the problem could be that his shop opens while we've got our live stream going. So, but I'll definitely ask him today and see if he is keen to give it a go. Keen to come on and have a wee chit chat, because we've got no dramas with that. I thought it was obligatory for business to do a 12 days of Christmas specials. Well, apparently, maybe we will, maybe we won't. I'm not sure. What do you think? Should we do 12 days of Christmas specials? And if we should do 12 days of Christmas specials, what should we put on special for 12 days? Do you know, one of my favorite things to do special-wise is ask you guys what you want to see on special and just do what I'm told. I think it was last year. I gave everyone the option of putting the whole range of something on special or CKM Prime. I think that's what it was. And you guys said just put Prime on special. So we put Prime on special for a week. Yeah, maybe we should do a a you choose Saturday type scenario. We've got this or this. What do you want to see on special? You've got a day to vote. Whatever turns up is what we'll put on special for that day. Then do it for that week. Maybe that might be a good way to do it. Seek him safe. You want Seek him? I don't know. Stock Seek him safe anymore. Maybe I should get some safe in stock so I can put it on sale for you. A hamper giveaway would be a good idea. Okay, I'll write that down. A fishy hamper. If I was to do a fishy hamper, Rochelle, what do you think should be in the fishy hamper for a giveaway? Christmas hamper, fish, Xmas hamper giveaway. Let's see how we go. Maybe a small aquascaping competition. You choose. I did an aquascaping competition a little while ago. They were very hard to run and to get people behind it. Yeah, I tried one before and it just didn't quite work what it is that we were trying to do. I did think of, I think we have done this before as well, is everyone send a picture of your aquarium and then we put it up and people vote for it. And so it's all kind of unknown. I've found in the past, if you get people just to post a picture of their aquarium, which is great, and people vote for it, the people that either really, at least previous things I've seen, people that are really popular, share it around all the time, tend to win more than some of the actually nicer aquariums often. Or the people that post their pictures of their aquarium before other people put up have more chance of being voted for as well. And the way Facebook works is if lots of people have liked that one, it gets pushed to the top and the other ones don't. So it's not quite as fair. Whereas if we get everyone to send a picture of their tank in, here's the cutoff date, we post it up the next day, everyone votes and do it that way seems to work a little bit better. But I'll write that down as well. Yeah, I think working anonymously is a better option. Yeah, than having it go up and mistimed. But yeah, I'll talk to John about that. We might be able to do something. That might be a next year thing. It might be a later in. No, I can't do later in November because Fish Wars is coming up. Might be a next year thing, but it's a good option. Some popular sold fish food and chemicals. Yep, we'll probably look at that. Or aquarium wards. Or maybe some of the products from that in the hamper and some chocolate fishes for the owner. Yep, definitely an option for that too. On that note, oh no, I'm not going to say that. That's in my head thought, not a out in the world thought. I'll bounce that idea off somebody else a little bit later on. Tank Wars. I dare say if we start calling something Tank Wars, that Facebook might get a little bit worried and maybe shut us down. So we won't call it Tank Wars, but we'll see how we go. So I've been rambling for nearly an hour now, so I thought that was doing pretty well. I like the idea of doing this Christmas hamper. I think that's a good option. I'd like to do things slightly differently to like your traditional stuff. So although we've done 12 days of Christmas before, might not do it this year. We'll see how we go. 12 days of Christmas could work too. So it's been an hour, so unless there's other stuff that people want to talk about, I may or may not go and do some more fish keeping. If there's more things that people want to talk about, I'm happily to sit here and talk for more fish. Aquarium Wars doesn't roll off the tongue as well. Yeah, I totally agree. Tank Wars does sound way better. 8 Crazy Nights. You, sir, are onto something. 8 Crazy Nights. 8 Crazy Nights. I'll write that down. So, 8 Crazy Nights. Yep, definitely something to look into there. That sounds way better than 12 Days of Fishmas. Although I do also like calling it Fishmas because, hey, it's Fishmas. 8 Crazy Nights. I could work with that. I wonder if I could work in some of the classic Christmas movies into some sort of a competition. Maybe do a Die Hard trilogy as some sort of a play on words somehow. Not sure how I'd do that. That might be an option. Really put a proper spin on it. Or Home Alone. We'll have a wee fiddle around with that. We'll have a wee fiddle around with that. I have an interest. Do you mean as in the blogs or the profiles? Because John writes all of that. None of that's me. Generally speaking, the normal, generally speaking, post is what I do. But any of the fully formal written blogs, John does, and all the profiles for the fish and the plants, John does all of them as well. It'll be cool. Handwriting. Oh, you mean my absolutely disgusting illiterate handwriting that I still haven't qualified to be allowed to use a pen yet from Standard 4 at primary school? My handwriting is disgusting. I struggle to read it sometimes. That'd be cool. Like fill in the blank on a common Christmas movie quote or sing a song. Who did this? Yep. You're working something here, Silver Creek. You're working something. I like this. I like this. I like this. Fill in the blank. Movie, song. Cool. Definitely going to work on that one. I'm not sure. I think it means that I was meant to be a doctor, but I couldn't really be bothered studying for that long to become a doctor. So, yeah, nobody can read my handwriting. Every Friday afternoon, I write a list of jobs for my part-time staff member to do on Saturday for me. And every Saturday at about 10 o'clock, I send her a tick and say, is there anything that you can't read? And she'll give me a ring and say, what's this one? Or send me a photo of it. And I'll go, that's what I'm asking you to do, please, because my handwriting is absolutely appalling. But that's okay. I blame being left-handed on that. So, yeah. Can I say, I'm pretty sure when you test tanks, when you do nitrates, is where a lot of the test kits should be broken. I drop them, just literally drop them out of my hands more than when I'm doing any other tests. The one that I broke during the week just literally slipped out of my hand. I did have a wee theory that when they had liquid in them, they don't break, but that was debunked this week because the one that I dropped had liquid in it, it still broke. So, unfortunately, yeah, I don't think I've ever dropped one when I've been testing. I've only sort of dropped them as I've been trying to pick them up or walk around with them. You need the API shaker. Maybe I do. Or like them dessert. Ah, man, you're full of ideas. I'm loving it. I am loving it. I've got to somehow put a fishy spin onto that. Cool. Okay. I've come out of this with way more work than I first started with, so thank you everybody for that. While we're here, is there an egg scattering fish that anybody would like me to have a wee focus on over the next couple of weeks? Grinchy fish, yep. That's a great option as well. Yeah, so there are egg scattering species you guys want me to have a wee play around that we can sort of document a little bit with. Tetras, Rasboras, Danios, all that sort of stuff. If there is, please let me know and I will grab a couple and we can have a wee play around with that. Yeah, always for a little bit of fun just doing that. I don't think Fahakas are going to be in my wheelhouse of things to play around with. I've just had a private message say Danios, so I'll put that on my wee list. Anything in particular Danio-wise? I was looking at playing with the pearls, but is there a particular one that might be worth having a look at? Surpays. Yeah, Surpays. I've got some in the shop as well. They were on my thing I was going to play with, but I went with the Red Phantom as well instead. But yeah. Dennis and Bubs, I don't believe are here. I think a whole bunch got bought in, but then had to be removed or destroyed because they weren't bought in of legal ways. Yeah, Chili Raspora. I was thinking about playing with Chili Raspora. Again, I've got a wee group of them in the shop. I have begun doing a little bit of reading and a little bit of watching on the Chili Raspora, so that was a potential look as well. So Chili Raspora. Yeah, the other one I was looking at is possibly Cardinal Tetras or Rummy Nose Tetras, purely because. Oh, hey, let's take that one. Purely because of that same thing. There always seems to be a shortage of them. They come in and out really quickly. But the Chili Raspora might be a good option. Might be a real cool option. And Supes are definitely on my little list of things too now as well. So we'll see how that goes. We've got them in the shop, so I'll set up a few more tanks over the next week or so, and then we'll see how we go. You're back, Zen. Cool. We're just talking about what, believe it or not, spawning again. What potential fish that we could have a wee play around with. Just do a few little videos and written updates and talking about different runny nose, different fish to spawn out the back with. So we're in the conversation of Supes, Chili Raspora, or maybe just some sort of Danio. So anything you want to add to that, we can possibly have a wee look at, but I think they're pretty solid options for now. Have I heard, if you got hold of leopard fish, the cobwater libraries would be good. They are hard to find, but pretty much like the minnows. Yeah, so I can get hold of leopard fish. I'm currently in the process of trying to get them, purchase them, and move along with them. So yeah, I quite like the leopard fish, and not particularly common. So definitely one that was on my radar to pick up and to purchase for at the back as well. So yeah. On that note, maybe White Cloud Mount Minnows, the gold variety, might be one that have won for me because I really like them. So yeah, I will leave it with that because we're still rambling, and I feel like this is not helping anybody because we're doing some rambling. Would CPDs work, or maybe you call them galaxies? Very hard to get hold of CPDs or Galaxy Rasporas here. Long story short, they've only really just been brought away from the brink of extinction in the country. So would be cool to do that. Maybe at some point in the future, maybe. So yeah, I think we'll stick with what are we shortlist here of 4: White Cloud, Supes, Chili Raspora, and maybe a species of Danio. I quite like the glow light Danio. Maybe that would be a cool option. Maybe, yeah, I'm going to put in brackets here, glow light Danio, because I quite like them. I think they're very underrated, and I think they're a very nice little fish. So that might be cool to get a bit of interest behind them, with people with them. Or even the green neons might be another one. Again, I think there needs to be a little bit more interest in them. I think they're pretty cool. Yeah, unfortunately, there's only 1 or 2 people with the CPDs around at the moment, and they're still, I think they're a fair price to what they're selling them for, but just a little bit more than I want to invest for the time being. Buys me a lot of other fish that can make me more fish babies that can then potentially buy me some CPDs. So as long as they don't get extincted in the country, we'll be okay with that. Yeah, green neons, we'll put that on those too. Green neons are really cool. Really, really cool. If you couldn't tell, most of these fish are little fish that I want to play with. Yeah. So I've had someone has spawned some this year. That's cool. Cool. All right. So we're going to go glow light Danios, gold white clouds, Supes, Chili Raspora, and green neons are on the short list for the next we move. What's the API shaker? I think that is something that Thomas was jokingly talking about. I don't think there actually is an API shaker. I think I might have said it'd be cool to have one that would shake them up like a beer can, like they did on The Simpsons. So I think it might have been taking the piss just a little bit there. Cool. Well, thank you, everybody. You've given me some good things to think about. Upcoming Christmas promotions. I've got lots of stuff to look through and have a wee chat with John about. And you have definitely given me some good options for fish that I might play around with and take out once we do a bit more setting up. So hopefully over the next week, next week, maybe 2 weeks, I'll be able to set up the next 5 to 10 sort of groups of spawning tanks, and then we can move from there. So I'll keep everybody in the loop, and no doubt I'll keep everybody in the loop of whether or not we get the black neons and the red phantoms to have a spawn early next week. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. Really appreciate it. Yeah, have a great weekend. Make sure you get your elbows and your armpits nice and wet, and enjoy your fish keeping while you can. Thank you everybody for joining us. Catch you later.